Season 27 is coming upon us.
Yeah.
What do you like about your football team?
I mean, I think just because they bought in, these guys are so committed to what we believe in and what we tell them they can do. They've worked so hard. They've been good citizens. They've done every bit of community service that we've asked, when knowing that it might sell a few more tickets and not just make them bigger, stronger, or faster. I love their commitment to this football team, and I really think good things happen to good people, and these players are just good people.
You know a lot more about your football team this season than you did a year ago at this time. You've
Right.
got two quarterbacks with experience. Chandler Rogers started 6 games last year, and then Jaya Wright played significant minutes as well. That's got to be a luxury for you.
It really is. I don't think we knew coming out of last spring. We had so many portal transfers that had to play. We really didn't know what kind of team we had. I think Rhett Rodriguez was able to run that offense so well, but it was limited in some of his skills could do. And so there were so many things that we could not do then that we're able to do now with the speed and the arm strength of not just Chandler Rogers, but Jaya Wright as well. So that at least gives us a chance to really open up our offense and be a little more dynamic. And so I'm excited about that. But again, we've got good people coming back surrounding our quarterbacks. So I like the possibilities of our offense.
You have great depth at wide receiver. Obviously, Boogie Knight's name's known, but you've got a lot of guys with a lot of experience there. And you've got 2 running backs who played a lot of football last year, too. So there's some skill players around those quarterbacks.
I think you could take three running backs if you count Isaiah Sims. You could take 5 out wide receivers on the outside, 4 on the inside, 3 or 4 tight ends, 3 or 4 linemen. Now, that's not a lot of depth at the line. We've got a lot of people coming back competing with each other in the preseason and have a chance, if they'll compete and be their best, got a chance to be pretty good if we stay solid in the offensive line. Defensively, I think we've got a lot more depth than we had last year. I don't know if other than Zach Woodard, I don't know there's too many superstars. You know, Jabari Johnson does an outstanding job, and Caleb Thomas does an outstanding job for us. But I think the thing that people don't realize is that we have an unbelievable kicking game coming back. And I think that's going to be important, I think, to us. Opening up our season with a veteran, one of the best kickers in the country, really one of the best punters in the group of 5. Long snapper, holder, punt return, kick return, they're all back. And I think that's what gives us a chance to win some close games. Because I think at ULM, if we're going to get that transition from to a winning team, a bowl-eligible team, a team that could compete for the conference, we've still got to go out and win a lot of close ball games.
You have 6 new coaches, 2 new coordinators. Talk about Matt Kubik, though, and Vic Koenig.
Well, our 2 coordinators I'm really pleased to have. I know Rich Rodriguez in his own right was an outstanding offensive coordinator because that's what he's done. But Matt Kubik's one of the up-and-coming coordinators in the country. He had 4 successful years at ULM in this conference running his offense. We didn't have the much wins or the defense to go with it, but we had great offense. And I think he has the ability to put it together with the athletes we've got. I'm excited because he knows what it takes to compete in this conference. Vic Koenig knows also 2 stints he's had at Troy and been very successful with the 1st or 2nd ranked defense in our conference back when he was at Troy. And of course, he's been my brother's coordinator at Clemson, at West Virginia, and other schools. He brings great experience there. So that's the biggest thing. We got quarterbacks that have Sun Belt Conference experience and successful experience. I think what we have to add to that, though, is we have a lot of new coaches that have great recruiting background in our state. You talk about John Carr, who's not just our receiver coach, but serves as kind of our recruiting coordinator. 14 years as a high school coach in Ouachita Parish. Played at La Tech, and coached at in the Southern Miss a little bit, or at the junior colleges in Mississippi a little bit. Great knowledge. Kubik played at La Tech, has coached in this area. You still got Tony Hull is still here. And you've got guys that have coached and worked in this conference. So what I like, we have guys that know how to compete in this conference and guys that know how to recruit in this area.
You led a great turnaround last year, the biggest in the Sun Belt, going from 0-10 to 4-8. But those guys feel like there was some unfinished business.
Right.
It seems like there's a great sense of urgency with this group, especially when you talk about those super seniors like Boogie Knight and Zach Woodard.
I think they saw how close they came. Now, if I had to be honest, if you're playing every game down to the wire and you're not favored or better, you're not going to win too many more than half of them, because that's just the nature of football. The ball's not round, it bounces funny. And we didn't play any worse against Texas State and Arkansas State. We just didn't make the last play. We didn't make that big interception for a touchdown or that big field goal at the end of the game that might have won those games and put us in a bowl situation the very first year. Now, we're going to have to play a lot of games down to the wire, and we're going to have to win some close ball games. But we must come to the point where we can play and beat people because we're better than they are. And that's the first thing. That's the thing we will begin to do. But in the meantime, we've got to go out there and be ready for a lot of 60-minute ball games, a lot of excitement at our stadium, and a lot of chances to win games at the last minute.